Can you hike off trail in Yellowstone National Park? The answer is yes, you can. But you have to make sure you know the area and don't hike where it's restricted. But Yellowstone National Park does allow off-trail hiking. So what we're going to do today is we're going to do some off-trail hiking, but maybe technically it's on-trail. We're going to go up and see if we can find the abandoned Upper Cougar Creek Trail, Mount Holmes Trail. This is Yellowstone National Park. I'm going to be hiking right up here in this area, the Gneiss Creek area basically. This is going to be partially off trail. Right here is the Gneiss Creek trailhead. So hike along the Madison River there and hike up to I think it's called the Gneiss Creek Patrol Cabin. Could be called the Cougar Creek Patrol Cabin, about right in there. And then from there I'm going to explore this area off trail. But there used to be an old trail in here called the Upper Cougar Creek Trail or the Mount Holmes Trail. But it's been abandoned for a lot of years and it doesn't show up on your map. And as you're going to see, it doesn't show up on the ground either. But what I want to do is go up here and find it. The first day, I took this path here and didn't have any luck. I actually crossed the trail a couple times but didn't see it. So I came back 4 days later and I took this path up here and I actually found the old trail. So that's what this video is going to be about, exploring off trail to try to find the old, unused Upper Cougar Creek Trail, Mount Holmes Trail. And these little marks I'm putting right here are actual trail marks. They were cut trees or trail markers that I found. Heading north now, leaving the Madison River. This is a trail that I think people really don't expect to see bears on. But I've seen 2 bears on this trail in the last 10 years. The bears are really scattered out everywhere over Yellowstone Park, so it really doesn't matter where you're at. There's always a chance you can run into a bear, so you should make sure no matter where you go, even if you're going to hike a mile from the parking lot, you should have your bear spray. Even trails that have a lot of people on them, you can run into a bear, but you know, the situation's a little different. If a bear is around a trail that's got a lot of people, and obviously the bear knows you're there. So in cases like that, the bear's behavior is a little bit different than in backcountry. But now, this is also a trail, at least up to that point back there, that a lot of people hike on. And this is very early morning, and bears don't really expect people to always be on a trail this early in the morning. So that's a little different than midday hiking when bears know there are a lot of people on the trail. So, got to be careful. I go slow and quiet, watch for bear signs, and I'm surprised how many comments I get that asking, do I have bear spray? The answer is yes, I always have bear spray. Right here on my left shoulder. I don't know if you can see that, it's still kind of dark, but oh, there's a little grouse right there in front of me. I'll keep my GoPro on. I don't know if you can see him, but it's too dark for my other camera. He's about 30 feet in front of me. See him moving back and forth there. He's just staying right ahead of me. There he goes, off into the grass. So one thing I'm doing very carefully is watching for bear signs, mainly tracks, especially any fresh scat, even though it's a little dark. But the only thing I see so far is fresh elk tracks. So this Mount Holmes Trail Junction, 17.1 miles. That's a trail I want to find. That trail has not been, the Mount Holmes Trail has not been on your map. Maybe, and they might even call it this Upper Cooper Trail that starts in 2.3 miles. But anyway, the sign's never been changed and it hasn't been on your map, any of the Yellowstone maps, as long as I can ever remember. So it's a totally unmaintained trail. I think it's totally abandoned. And I was up here 4 days ago, and couldn't find it. Although I went back and looked on the maps, I think I actually hiked right over the top of it twice trying to find it. So I'm coming back up here today because I know it's there. I've seen the cut logs from when they used to maintain it a long time ago. So I'll see if I can find it today. I'm going to hike in a little different place, a little different way this time to find it. Also today, it's supposed to be cooler. It might even rain, so that's why I chose today to come out here. The forecast says it's only going to get to 74 or 75 degrees today, which would really be nice. But we'll have to see. So there's the cabin right there. 4 days ago I started about, I don't know, 3 or 4, maybe 500 yards down that way. At least 100 yards past that big tall tree there. So this time I'm starting over on the east, further east, and I'm going to head up this little canyon here. I was thinking before I wanted to start down there and then cut across. Hopefully I'd run into it, but like I said, I never saw it. So I'm going to try to hike more to the southeast of where I went 4 days ago and see if I can find it. Look at this older grizzly dig. Look how deep that is. I don't know what he's digging for, but look at the rocks. He pulled up some big rocks. That's why I say sometimes when you're looking at tracks and trying to figure out if it's a black bear track or a grizzly bear track, if it's got claw marks that are a couple inches out there, way out there in front, that's going to be a grizzly bear. There's no doubt about it. Black bear do not have those long claws. But sometimes if you see short claw marks, you can't always say for sure that's a black bear. Because like right there, oh, here's some more. This grizzly has been digging in the rocks like crazy up here. He's pulling up some big rocks. This grizzly might have short claws from digging in the rocks. So the long claws are a dead giveaway. Short claws, you have to use other evidence to try to figure out the track. And so far, no indication of a trail. I know there's a trail up here, like I said before, I've seen it, but an old trail. Haven't found anything yet. Yes, finally. That looks like a cut log right there. Although there's no indications of a trail anywhere. Nobody's been up here probably for years. Looks like this is where it used to go. I found it. You can see where that's been sawed off. So I've come up a little bit more than a half mile before I found this. Look right here. That tree was cut down. So, although it doesn't look like a trail, I am on the old trail. So I'm going to try to plot this out on the map. Well, I haven't seen any sawed logs for about a quarter of a mile. So I'm just kind of going where I think it ought to go. Hopefully I'll find some more old evidence of the trail up here somewhere. As you can see, it would be very, very easy to get lost out here. Although I'm going to probably put this track on my YouTube or on this hike. You do not want to try this unless you have the proper safety equipment and you're very, very good at land navigation. There's no sun out right now, so it's overcast. It'd be very easy to get lost, but I do have a compass as a backup, and I know I have to go southwest to get back. So with a overcast day in this kind of terrain, it's very easy to get lost. Well, I think I'm going to turn around right in here. So I wouldn't call this a trail. This is kind of the path that you would take if you wanted to hike to Mount Holmes. Gives you an idea of all the brush and the terrain you'd have to go through. Right now it's pretty nice, actually. It's opened up enough to easily hike, but right now I'm hiking northeast. Was hiking pretty much east, and now I've turned more to the northeast. I haven't found any old cut logs or anything for a mile, so it's hard to say if this is actually where the trail went or what, but this is the kind of hiking you would do if you were trying to go to Mount Holmes. And the other thing to keep in mind is I don't think there's really any water sources anywhere for the next 15 miles, or maybe at least 10 miles. I'd have to look at the map. But I think I'll turn around here. So I turned around about 100 yards up there, and look at what I found. So I am on the trail, if you want to call this a trail. Look at this. It's an old, burnt up trail marker. So, this is where the trail went. Right up through here, so I've been on the trail. That makes me happy. That's the first indication I've seen of the trail for about a mile, so that is great. Oh, it's really kind of fun hiking through here if you go slow. You just have to make your way through these trees, but that's what I wanted to show you right here. This is what black bears like to do. They like to tear up the logs like that and eat the insects, mainly those big black forest ants. Okay, here's another positive trail marker. Tree was cut down, and then they've got that X on there. So I'll mark that one on my GPS. Okay, so I'll mark this one, so I put that in my GPS. So you can see the cut log right down there. So some more positive markings. Well, there's a patrol cabin back down there. I think the trail went down through here somewhere, but can't find anything. So that'll probably be it for this video. It's pretty successful finding the trail.